Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. Welcome back if you have visited me before. And if you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know about the channel of any relevance, such as finding out about my subscriptions, you can find the Patreon link, my website link, and all other important links in the description box. You can find my giveaways in the description box, like what promotion I'm giving away for the day. Like today, if you write the word Master Healer in your comment bar, and I write the word winner underneath, then you won a free psychic reading. Now, in order to enter into winning a free reading with me, all you need to do is watch the video. If you resonate with it, like the video, comment the word, Master Healer, again, in your comment bar, and subscribe to the channel. Those three things automatically always get you into entering into winning a free psychic reading with me. All right, so you'll have to wait then to see whether I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. And if I did, then all you need to do is reach out to me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. Again, that's pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. And we'll figure out a good time that works for the both of us that I can do your reading. Now, all readings are done live streamed. Why? Because I believe in the law of spirit, what's best for everyone involved. So it's not just what's best for me that I'm doing a psychic reading and I get to display my style of reading, or for the person that actually receives the reading. But it's collectively for anyone that lands on the reading, because readings are timeless. I believe that even if they'll say, oh, well, it's for the week of, spirit has no time. So it's actually for whoever needs to hear the message. We can intentionally say it's for this week, right? We can intentionally say we're doing a reading for February 18th. We're doing a reading for Libra, which we are. This is going to be a Libra reading. However, if you're not a Libra and you wind up on this video and it's not February 18th, the video still resonates with you, and the message then was for you, because we're spiritual beings, and spiritual beings, we attract not just the energy of what we are or who we are, again, and that will come out in the character of people or certain behaviorisms, but it comes out, again, attracting what you need. So if you attract a person that has bad behaviorisms and you say, well, I don't have bad behaviorisms. Well, obviously there was a sense that you were the same vibration of that person, not because you had bad character, but having no character and letting someone control you and not setting appropriate boundaries and not being your true self. And we know that when we're not our true self, when we're being manipulated to, to dummy down or to settle, that is when we're not in our truth. So we know this energy because there's a definitely distinct trigger that normally goes along with being asked to dummy down and be disrespected. So we can feel when we're out of balance. Now, people that know this channel know I always look at the spiritual energy first, because that's gonna let us understand why a situation is unfolding the way that it is. It also helps us if we're dealing with a difficult personality, whether that personality is someone that gets triggered a lot and they're always angry, or they want to control, or they're just someone that pulls out every single trigger that we have. We'll be able to look at that person from a detached perception when we look at the situation through a spiritual perception, because we're dealing with energies. We're not taking anything personally, and that allows us to look at any situation from a much higher perspective, which is just an overall view of the situation instead of getting stuck in the scenario or story that is keeping us stuck in the trigger of the feeling, the emotion of that trigger. Okay, let's see what's going on, Libra. First card out, overstimulated. So when we're, again, overstimulated is because we have too much thoughts and too much emotion going on. We're in the fight, flight, or freeze, which is not good. It's because it's this either you or a person that you're connected to. Usually if we're dealing with a soulmate, twin flame relationship, we're actually mirroring each other. And we're mirroring each other because triggers are being brought to the surface. And we know that we're being triggered when there's a lot of thoughts and there's a lot of emotion and we get stuck in the emotion. I believe, Libra, you are connected to someone that is, again, very triggered by their connection with you because they're narrow-minded. They believe that you're supposed to act a certain way and be a certain way. And I also believe that you are overstimulated from this relationship because you also believe that things should be different, but your person only looks at things through what works best for them. I feel like they tend to look at things from a very logical perception, which is what I see is what I know is what I believe, just the facts. But when we're dealing with a relationship, we really shouldn't be just looking at our situation logically, because we're not going to be caring about the other person. And if we have emotional feelings towards the other person, this wouldn't be the right thing to do. But it shows that both parties are narrow-minded. Now, you might say, I have a reason why I'm narrow-minded. I believe that I'm correct and right. And you may be, but if you're still entertaining this person and they're keeping you stuck in a limited perception where you feel as if you have to be narrow-minded in order to stay in this connection, in this relationship, then you know that it's automatically going to keep you overstimulated. So you have to make a choice. Is it more uncomfortable to be connected to a person that continually asks you to dumb me down because they're not willing to step into their truth? Because they want you to live a certain way because they have perceptions of how things should be, which also, ironically, and I say that sarcastically, lines up with their comfort zone, meaning that it's too much to think about, too much emotion because this relationship is deep. I want to stay narrow-minded. It's because then it forces you to have to convince me, to chase me if you want this. And I can feel that this is a deep connection. So I'm going to call your bluff. Like this is almost like your person being like, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to do nothing in hopes that you do something. But understand it's very overstimulated. Self-denying, and this is what I mean, that they're not going to do anything because again, they don't know what to do. There's a sense of, I'd rather deny myself because when I deal with such a deep and intense connection, I get overstimulated. And I get overstimulated because I believe that a relationship needs to look a certain way. I believe your person is a little old-fashioned and they live from their ego, which is, again, how things need to look. And that makes everything narrow-minded. So you may be someone, Libra, that is out in the public eye. You may be someone that is very well known within your community. And this is difficult for your person because they like to be seen as a person that is the big honcho around town, and like you should be subservient. Whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't really matter, and it would never read for gender. So no, you could easily be with a man and be a man and want to be with someone that you believe stays home and is domesticated because you work a job that's very demanding. Doesn't matter what the reason is. What matters is that this relationship is stuck by perceptions of how things should be instead of actually a relationship going on, because everybody in this relationship is overstimulated. And then when that happens, it leaves your person like almost victimized, and you too victimized, because no one's getting what they want. It's almost like you're in a Mexican standstill. No one's going to move. And no one's going to move because everyone's overstimulated by so much thoughts and emotions, where everyone's self-denying themselves instead of looking at things from a higher perception. Somebody needs to take control of the situation in order for this relationship to evolve, because it almost seems like the person that you're dealing with, Libra, is afraid to show their emotions. They get overstimulated, so they don't show anything at all. And because they do, they self-deny themselves, and then they get stuck in a victimization mode where then they believe that they can't have love. So again, Libra, you may believe on a deep subconscious level that you can't have love the way that you want it, which this is why you're attracting this person. You may say, I'm attracting a person that's triggering me to bring out the wounds that I have, but they're not healing me. Well, it's again, if they're narrow-minded and they're showing you a mirror of who you are, it means that you need to do something different if you don't want to stay in this victim energy, which is self-denying. So you can't self-deny yourself. Now, does that mean that you should try to convince this person? No. What it means is you don't self-deny yourself. You expand your mind by maybe dating other people, by looking at yourself differently, by asking yourself why you're connected to someone that isn't capable of showing you emotions and would rather, like I say, stay in this victim energy. But the issue is you stay connected to this energy when you again want this person to change and they're not changing. You also are self-denying. Now they're self-denying themselves because they're hoping to overstimulate you. And what do we overstimulate? Meaning get anxiety so that you'll take action to see their limited perception to do what they want. It's a tactic. And it's a tactic when people are, spiritually imbalanced. They act as if they don't care. They detach from their emotional needs and they fill themselves with outside things, whether or not that's addictions, whether that's other relationships, which could be an addiction. They could overwork. It's again, there's some form of escapism here is what I'm seeing, Libra, that you're connected to someone that again overstimulates you too, because they're narrow-minded, because they want to keep you in a place where you're self-denying them because they want you to feel bad for them. So again, this could be a very codependent, your person trying to set up a codependent relationship here. And a codependent relationship, it's like, is not a healthy one. Okay, let's actually see what's happening right now. Get a little vibe of a story of what's happening. And then we'll look into the hidden truths. But I want to see what the hell is going on. I wish I could have leisure coffee and talk with you. So you're in separation right now from your person. Again, this is why they feel victimized, because again, they acted like they didn't care. about you, but they did again, and they were hoping that you would stay in that place of you know, victimization too, because when you stay victimized and you stay limited, then there's no threat of you leaving. Okay. This person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson, and that's what I was saying. A lot of times the people that come into our life, again, even when we feel that there is a soul connection, that person, not all the time are we supposed to be in a relationship with. That's why people need to be balanced. When people are not balanced, the relationship goes 1,000 miles an hour, and you're like dating the person for 3 months and you're like off to getting a wedding dress. Everything's moving fast. It's where you want to go, what you want to do. There's an expectation, but you're not really getting to know this person, is what I see. Again, because if the person is narrow-minded and they're not looking at your situation and they're only looking at what they want and they're manipulating what they want, they're not in a place of love. They may be in a place of lust, because again, this overstimulated energy is combined with the energy of self-denying and victimized is not a pleasant energy. It's almost like a person that's deliberately self-denying themselves and acting like a victim in order to get what they want, in order to convince you for what you want. But that's what a spiritual lesson is. A spiritual lesson is that you think that you're dealing with a soulmate twin flame, or you think that you're dealing with a life mate, which is like a healthy soulmate relationship, but you're dealing with a trauma bond, past life connection, one where it keeps you stuck in a karmic theme, one that makes you self-deny, like from getting what you want and being stuck in victimization. And this is the fear of it, because Libra, I believe you know this, because again, overstimulation. Why would you be overstimulated dealing with someone? Well, because you know that they're not coming from their truth. So that's a little bit of a problem, because it's like if you're in love with someone that you can kind of see that how they're setting it up. Like there were red flags all over this. Okay. It's too difficult for me to process my emotions. And this is, again, your person would rather play the victim, would rather deny themselves, because they, again, like are not learning a spiritual lesson. Because again, because this person's karmic and they are teaching you a lesson, well, guess what? You can teach them a lesson too, because there's feelings here. It's not like this isn't a soulmate relationship or a spiritual relationship, where meaning there's usually a lot of passion. There's a lot of like chemistry. There's a familiarity. The person can feel like home to you. There's a remembrance, almost like a deja vu when you get around this person. So again, that's a soul recognition, which we always want to feel connected to those people. However, if the relationship goes really fast, like again, your person is, though they want this connection, they want it all on their terms, which is not healthy, because it'll keep you in a place of victimization. And it's deliberately keeping them in a place of limitation too, but that's the place that they feel comfortable in, only you. So again, there's a sense where the real like feeling here that they've realized is that they can't walk away from you. So they recognize that this is a soul relationship. However, they don't understand the whole divinity of a soul relationship, that it's supposed to bring you to your highest self. that is supposed to bring you to your best self, which means that playing games and manipulation and only seeing things from their limited perception would have to go. So your person knows that it's only you. However, they're still narrow-minded. They're still not willing to change. They still want things only on their terms. They're still willing to play games because the relationship is so overstimulating to them, because they don't know how to deal with their emotions. They don't know how to process this type of relationship that's so deep. The relationship is one that can't be controlled because, again, it's a soul relationship. And when it's a soul relationship, one that's based on unconditional love, we can try and walk away. We can try and replace that person. But what winds up happening is we look for that person in every single person that we meet, because that person was supposed to be in our lives for a bigger, greater purpose, which again says that this person is in your life to teach you a spiritual lesson. And really what we know is that they're not giving enough. They're not giving anything. They're not capable of giving anything. Now this card fell out. I feel abandoned by you. It's triggering my childhood trauma. So again, this relationship has brought out to you again to look at, again, spiritual blocks of abandonment, because this person that's a soulmate twin flame, or whether they're just a soul relationship, past life relationship. If I had to name them anything, it would be like a past life relationship. I don't know if it's twin flame relationship. I don't think it is, because this person is not on the same vibration. They would rather play games. They would rather manipulate the situation to get you to do what they want you to do to get what they want. And it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings. It means that they would have to address a lot of their wounds. They would actually have to acknowledge the deep feelings they have with you, and acknowledge by follow through. Your person has an intimacy issue. This relationship that they have with you in their mind, because it's like they don't even have a relationship with you, because the relationship requires them to be able to process emotions that are too deep for them to process. And so because they're not acknowledging the depth of this relationship and the importance of this relationship, obviously you feel abandoned by them, which is obviously bringing up childhood trauma. So remember, a soulmate relationship, even if it's not a twin flame relationship, is everyone comes into your life to help you evolve into higher states of consciousness. Just that twin flame relationship is like the worst kind of triggering, because it's going to bring out every single trigger, but there's a lot of passion there, where I don't really feel like there's a ton of passion on your part, Libra. I feel like the person connected to you has a lot of passion for you. And so again, they're stuck in this in this place of really not understanding the true meaning of intimacy. It's a surface problem. I want to come more from the ego perception. I don't want to go this deep, and I don't want to go this deep because it's triggering for me, that it brings up my childhood abandonment issues for your person. So there is mirroring happening here, but the mirroring again is happening for different reasons, where I feel like, Libra, you didn't get the emotional support that you needed, and in that you didn't feel loved and supported. And I feel like for many it was because you grew up in an alcoholic family, or you grew up in a family that there was only one parent, or a parent died. Again, whatever the situation was that your parents could not, like, again, they weren't there. They couldn't give you what you needed emotionally. So it's, again, there was a sense of feeling abandoned, feeling very alone. For your person, they felt like they had to wear a mask. They weren't able to express their emotions. They weren't able to come from their true self. They weren't allowed to feel their emotions, process their emotions, understand their emotions. However, I feel like they are a highly sensitive person that suppresses their emotions. Now, the problem with this is that we become overstimulated. And if we don't understand and feel our emotions, we don't 100% know what we want. And we do wind up self-denying ourselves because we're very easily manipulated through our environment, through the people that we actually have let in, which is usually family. So there's a sense of your person needing to wear the mask, to be someone else, again, because and only living through their perceptions, which were very limited and not really productive for you, not equal. It was like, again, it was very unfair energy. And for you, this situation was for you to create boundaries, to like know your self-worth. So even though the person really does feel this way, you would pretty much both be living out situations that mirrored your childhoods. One where your person would continually have to wear a mask because they never let you in emotionally, and you continually, like forever, never getting the emotional support that you needed. So this is why this would be a karmic relationship, right? And possibly one of a trauma bond, because if a child isn't able to express themselves and be themselves, then there's a sense of not trusting their environment, number one, and also becoming a chameleon, because again, and then always believing that they're not good enough and trying to be perfect instead of finding who they are and being able to freely express themselves. And that becomes the second chakra imbalance, where there will be infidelity, there will be intimate issues, there will be, because the person does not know how to give emotionally. And whoever winds up with this person is someone that didn't get what they needed somewhere in their childhood, and most likely in many other of their relationships. And that's why this is a spiritual connection that needs to play out, where both parties need to learn. Both parties need to learn. Otherwise, they will continue. Your person that wears a mask will attract people that are phony, and they'll never know what they get. They'll always feel tricked. They'll always be victimized. And because they don't really know who they are, they're dealing with, again, a chameleon, and you will stay not getting what you need. So I'm going to leave it there, Libra. You let me know whether you resonated with this spiritual message. And if you did, again, give me a like, comment the word master healer, subscribe to the channel. Those 3 things will get you right into winning a free psychic reading with me. We'll enter into, anyway, winning a free psychic reading with me. All right. I'm going to leave it there. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.